Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division with the tournament win for the Gokasho 9-hole cup here in Golf Clash the game. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. That will help the channel a lot and you will then support it. Obviously, subscription is for free. Go to golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content, also for free, and then you can get the packages for Tour and Tour Play to get our most valuable text guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy, linked directly in the description down below. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, the elevation adjustment, the ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind you don't have to follow what I do suggest, but there is always a plan behind it. Can we get this video to 300 thumbs up? That would be insane, and I will be very grateful for that. But in the end, I'm gonna stop talking about this and we're gonna take a look at hole number 1. For hole number 1, we're gonna have a headwind. This is a difficult win, I may say. In the end though, it's not that difficult that we should be making a mess here, but it's difficult enough that we are going to have to push it and be really focused. I'm using, in this case, 6 bars of topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the left, red ring by the rough line with Apocalypse level 6, and I'm starting just before +1. Adjustment, maximum distance +10, and then I'm gonna apply a little bit of curl to the left, and also then overpower. I'm using overpower based on how much I adjust into overpower. But I would like you to do one change here. Stay away from the freaking curl. Look how close we are to get stuck into the rough. It's insanely close. But stay away from the curl and rely on the fact, obviously, that you're gonna hit perfect, but then you're gonna have in mind that with a great left and you don't have the curl, you will have no problem staying away from the rough either. So the curl was so close on hurting us massively there. Now, second shot, I'm gonna attempt a rough bump. I cannot say that this is dialed in because, again, it's early, but I do believe that the value in playing the rough bump is that we remove the effect of the secondary bounce. So I'm gonna apply spin, which is gonna be a 5.5 bar top spin and then 1.2 bars of side spin to the right. Ball guideline should be just through the hole, and you can see that we're aiming pretty far up into the rough here. Adjustment is going to be with a 12:01 pull angle, and we're gonna adjust in this case for medium distance of our club. Why do I use a 12:01 pull angle? It's because we are technically making an adjustment that it's not really enough. Meaning that we're gonna have to have the 12:01 pull angle to pull the ball further up, otherwise we're gonna have a problem with the rough further back. Sorry, with the fairway further back. Great left, and you can still see that we missed to the right. That means that we do need to reduce a little bit more. So somewhere between minimum and medium distance, no elevation is our adjustment there that we do need to go. With a perfect, we would have missed, in my opinion, a little bit more to the right. So mixture a little bit with adjustment, test it out. I do believe in the end though that this is going to be the best possible chance for us making an eagle. For hole number 2, we're gonna play the toughest of the par 3s in my opinion. The reason for that is the tailwind. It's very difficult with tailwind here to get everything correct. So in the end though, after debating with myself which route I'm gonna go, I decided to go with a simple guardian route, which is not going to risk us losing the birdie, but it will also obviously decrease the opportunity making and hole in one a little bit. It will still be a chance though, don't get me wrong, but it's gonna be a bit harder when it comes to bouncing with backspin and then get everything correct towards the pin. I'm going with 7 bars of backspin, half a bar of side spin to the right. Looking at the result here, even though it's a great left, I would say that we would be needed to go with 7.5 bar backspin and hit perfect. A medium distance +10, we use the guardian in whatever level you may be having it in, because 7.5 bar backspin is something you will have even with guardian level 1. For hole number 3, we're gonna have a slight southeast wind, so a little bit of headwind combined with crosswind. I'm using 6 bars of top spin, 3 bars of side spin to the left, red ring by the rough line, starting at +6 yards. But most importantly, look at the ball guideline. You want the ball guideline to show that the second bounce is clearly above the rough. A little bit of a curl to the left. I'm also adding a tiny click of overpower. And the reason I want to add that tiny click of overpower is to just make entirely sure that we're gonna get over the rough. Now we get the ball up to a nice distance here, and the distance is gonna be, as you see, 364 yards. Now look at the info box. You see the B-52 and the Goliath as suggested clubs. Why both of them? It's because both of them has 135 yards. So we rather want to play with those type of clubs than we want to go with the Grizzly, because the Grizzly will have a big risk of being in between clubs. Now, I go with the B-52-7 as I do have the B-52-7 Plus. Otherwise, I would most likely go with the Goliath instead, as the ball guideline will, if so, be kind of the same. 1 bar of topspin, ball guideline through the hole. Once again, the ball guideline is the key here. We want it to go approximately 1 green square through the hole. I do adjust from +2 maximum distance, no elevation, but based on the result that we're gonna have, I want us to add 5% extra in elevation to compensate for the push that we're getting from the wind once the ball hits the ground. So maximum distance, no elevation is played in the video, but we do want to have maximum distance +5 based on the +2 yard mark with our B-52. Then please let me know in the comment section below if you don't really follow what I'm saying there with the +2 yard mark and stuff like that. It's easy that it gets a lot of numbers, but that is to get you the best possible play here for hole number 3. I do believe though this is a really good chance for an albatross, and based on the tiebreaker rules that we do have in the game, getting an albatross as an extra drop is very valuable, and more valuable than a hole-in-one or a regular eagle on a par 4. For hole number 4, I will back up and I'm going to play with the Grizzly. And here I'm going to use 1.8 bars of topspin and no side spin. Blue ring by the bunker, and look at the ball guideline position. It should be going diagonal into the bright green square row and just be finishing by the dark green square row. Adjustment in this video is maximum distance +20 power 2 ball setting. But based on the result that we do have here in this video, I want to make a change. I want to make the change to be maximum distance +20 with power 1 ball settings instead. That would be a difference of 0.2 rings to the total adjustment, and I do believe that would give us the drop. However though, this is a tough hole to drop, and I do believe that we will be having a chance, but very hard to get every detail correct every single time. But we do have a good chance. Grizzly is the club to use. Doesn't matter if it's Grizzly 7, 8 or 9. The good part with it is that you obviously want to have the ball guideline. Play with a win 5 power 2 ball. But remember, the settings when you do make your adjustment is power 1. For hole number 5, there is a headwind here. I tried to play even with a power 5 wind 3 ball, and I didn't make it over on the left hand side, so that's why I'm gonna lay up on the right. Those of you having Apocalypse level 7 level 8 or Thor Samuel level 7 level 8, you could give it a go, and that will, if you reach over, obviously be massive compared to having to lay up. Maximum distance +10, I'm using the white ring by the rough line to the right just before it turns to +1. Why do I go into such trouble with the landing position? It's because to keep the consistency with its wrestle. Because if we're gonna just be in the center of the fairway, we have no reference to work with. And then we're gonna be more left, we're gonna be more right, we're gonna be, yeah, again, it's gonna be hard to know how to then adjust the second shot after that. Second shot, we're gonna play with our sniper, and now we do also have headwinds. We're gonna have to back up a little bit because we don't want to adjust into overpower, especially those of you playing with a lower level sniper. Make sure that you back up enough so you once again are not going to go in between clubs. 1 bar left spin, 1 bar of top spin. Ball guideline is just through the hole. I do adjust maximum distance +10 for this adjustment, and I'm also adding a click of a left curl, or baby curl as we are used to call it. Bouncing on the fairway, and we do like when it turns around like this. And what do I used to say? never go short in line. This one looks really good. We just needed to add a little bit more topspin to have the ball guideline to go a little bit more through the hole. So I do believe with a perfect ball with your drive, you can keep playing maximum distance +10 and just keep the topspin, or like tweak the topspin just a little bit on your second shot. Then you're gonna have a good chance. But as we do not have a tailwind or even a crosswind for the drive trying to go left, this hole plays way harder than what it does in especially Pro. For hole number 6, we're gonna let it fly. 6 bars of top spin, 3 bars of left spin, and now we're going to attempt a power hook. And I'm using the brown tree as a reference there, and honestly, that was to just give it a go and see. I do believe that we do need to move our target a little bit more to the left here, which means that we would be having the ball guideline to the left side of the tree. And you're gonna notice why in just a bit. And the reason I'm using a Kingmaker here is because if using a power 4 or a power 5 ball with this type of wind, we will be carrying too far and we'll go directly into the rough on the right. And look how close we are to the rough even. So we do need to have a shorter drive, if that makes sense. And then the Kingmaker is the ball to go with. Will you be ending up on green with this shot? Nah, not really. You will be in the rough most of the times, but you obviously, if moving the target a bit more left, you will see yourself be closer to green, and then the rough iron will be a bit easier to get to drop. But even if you mess up, you do have such a favorable wind that you're gonna have no problem to save yourself from a tough spot. So that is the reason why we go for it, like, instead of lay up. Because if we lay up, we have a sniper shot towards the pin, and that sniper shot is not gonna be fun at all because it's so inconsistent. So you can see here, even though we went into the rough, we are pretty far away from the green. We can still play a rough iron towards the pin and actually have a decent chance. Now I listed mid +10 in the info box, but obviously the club distance will vary depending on where you end up. But the thing that you need to have in mind, we play downhill, so you need an additional 10% on the elevation to just make sure that you compensate for the downhill shot. So, Apocalypse, Kingmaker, let it fly, and the only thing that I could say, those of you that are playing with maybe an Apocalypse level 2, level 3, those lower levels, make sure then to play with a power 4 or a power 5 ball, as you do have less power than what you do have with an Apocalypse level 5+. In the end though, you know, will this be an albatross all the time? No, it will not. But we're gonna give ourselves at least a good chance. For hole number 7, the final of the par 3s, I'm gonna play actually a route that I seem to enjoy. I don't like this hole generally, but this wind is actually the best of the worst of the winds, if that makes sense. Max side spin to the right. 4.5 bar backspin, blue ring by the rough line with the ball guideline falling short of pin, as you could see. Adjustment is going to be medium distance, no elevation, but power 4 ball settings. So even if we play with a power 3 ball, we should be using power 4 ball settings instead. And now, after our adjustment, we're gonna try to hit perfect. But please don't hit great ball on a par 3. However though, the ball bounces nicely and we do miss left. And you know, the classic saying is perfect was in, but we don't know that obviously. But the thing that we do know is that perfect would have been pretty darn close. And I do believe a lot in this adjustment. So medium distance, no elevation. Power 4 ball settings. But we play with a Kingmaker to have the side spin 3. And then we play with a sniper. For hole number 8, we will be battling a headwind once again. A lot of headwind here in Expert, I must say. Here I'm using the bullseye as my reference. I want it to be centered on to the fairway. Max topspin, max side spin to the right. The more topspin, the better in this scenario. Adjust max +10. We go with max overpower and 1 ball of curl to the right. Trying to hit perfect, obviously a bad grade to either left or right could be risky. But as you can see there, we have a lot of margin for error with our drives. I do believe that's going to be safe anyway, but I just wanted to say it so you do have that in mind. Second shot is going to be played from whatever club distance we do have. So make sure you measure and check where you are in at. And this read I do have is medium distance from this area, and I'm using no elevation for this shot. 4 bars of backspin, I'm having my first bounce on the fringe. I want to have the first bounce on the fringe or on the green instead of having it on the fairway before the green, because that one could be a bit inconsistent for us. No, it's not no, but so medium distance, no elevation. I pull over the bullseye, giving myself 3.5 rings of adjustment here for an 8.2 miles per hour. And obviously it's down to hit perfect. Perfect ball, we know it's gonna be close in this scenario. We do like the roll that we're getting perfectly right at pin for a lovely eagle. Again, have in mind that the club distance will vary, especially when we're gonna play with overpower, that we, you know, sometimes gonna hit perfect, sometimes we're gonna hit great, and that's all going to affect the distance we do have towards the pin. So make sure you check, but nonetheless though, it's gonna be a super good chance making an eagle. For hole number 9, I want us to start with the rock, if we do have the possibility to play with the rock. Otherwise, you play with the driver that gives you a decent power, which means that I don't want you really to play with the quarterback. I play a no movement with the rock, so I'm not touching my target until it's time to adjust the rings. 2 bars of topspin, and adjustment will be maximum distance plus 10. So we do adjust for maximum distance plus 10, and then it's time to take our shot. We're not going to use any overpower, underpower, or curl. So the ball travels away, and it's going to bounce on the fairway, and it's going to leave itself in a nice distance when it comes to our second shot. So we don't want to come obviously too far and roll into the rough, but we also don't want to come too far on the fairway, because the closer we are, the harder the second shot is going to be, because then we're going to have a problem with the topspin. So this is perfect distance. We do have the sniper level 10. If you don't have the sniper level 9 plus, I will say, then you should be playing with the big dog or with the cataclysm to make sure you have at least 5.5 bar topspin. I add max topspin, 3 bars of right spin. I move my target so I see it bounce with the second bounce into the bunker, pointing towards the left side bunker. Okay, then I adjust for maximum distance, no elevation, and then I will be applying max curl to the right. Ball bounces on the fairway into the rough and rolls nicely onto the green. Will we miss the rough sometimes? Yeah, we will, but we will still have a very good chance making an eagle. And I do believe that this play is very solid, especially when you can play with a sniper and you have some room for a great due to its accuracy. But have in mind, I do have in mind that some lower level snipers will not managing to do that shot, and then you're gonna have to be laser focused trying to hit perfect with your big dog or the cataclysm, so you're not getting screwed by a great ball with a club that has a bad accuracy. But in the end though, here we need to just make sure to get the eagle, the albatross. It's no opportunity. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Expert Division with the tournament win for the Gokasho 9-hole cup. I give you some different alternatives, trying to keep the adjustments, you know, for free-to-play balls. We're adding one little special ball for hole number 4, which I do believe there is great value to do. So in the end, you can obviously choose whatever ball and club you want, but there is a good lines to follow here in this playthrough. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Make sure you get your package on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Thank you so much and good luck in the Gokasho 9-hole cup.